On this episode of Exactly How, you're going to learn how to avoid the big mistakes people make when rehabbing, how to build a team that does 99% of the work for you, and how to profit in today's real estate investing market on this episode of Exactly How.
You're listening to the Exactly How podcast, where you'll hear the underground, closely guarded wealth building secrets of successful people around the globe. Discover exactly how to improve your mental, physical, and financial health. Feel better, make more money, live, give, and prosper in today's exciting, fast-paced world filled with opportunity for those who know exactly how.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Connected Investors podcast and YouTube show, Exactly How. During this episode, you're going to discover exactly how to build out systems and a team around rehabbing properties. This is so monumentally important. I'm so excited about this interview right here because we have one of the best on the line. For those of you who are new, my name is Ross Hamilton, today's host and CEO of ConnectedInvestors.com. Today, we have the privilege to learn from a man who flips and rehabs like over 200 properties a year, and his team handles 99.99% of it. You definitely want to learn from this guy. Prior to his career in real estate, he worked as a bartender and a bouncer. He still kind of looks like a bouncer. If you're watching this on YouTube, you can see that. And he actually owned a nightclub. All of that changed when he realized that in spite of all of that hard work, at the end of the day, he still didn't have enough money. He was still kind of broke. So he had to take action. And like many of you on the line here, he found real estate and he took massive action and has made a very successful life for himself. I would describe our guest really just kind of as a regular guy doing his thing in a very, very efficient way. So I'd like to introduce you to the one, the only, Don Costa. Don, thank you so much for being here.
Hey, thanks for having me, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah. It's going to be great to learn from you on all of these rehabbing systems. And if you're watching this on YouTube, which hopefully everyone here is subscribed to our YouTube and gets those notifications so you can learn all these different tactics. You can see that right behind them, it says Flip Talk right there. So you have a podcast as well, Don?
Yeah, I have Flip Talk. It's 3 years old. It's been a fun journey. We also have Flip Talk Rookie Playbook, which was a 49 episode series we did on the week by week on real estate investing. So it's definitely something I've had fun doing and talking to incredible people. It's got me the opportunity to talk to incredible people like you. And so, hey.
Yeah. Well, great. Yeah, I'll make sure that in this YouTube description and in the show notes, we have links to everything that Don is doing and talking about. This way you can kind of continue the conversation. So Don, before we jump into rehabbing properties and creating systems around all of this, you contribute a lot of your success to your ability to get out of the way and let your team kind of make it happen. Why do you think that's been so important to your success?
You know, a lot of us as entrepreneurs, and I've been guilty of that in my life, is we feel like we have to control everything. We feel like when we get into business that we have to control it, that we have to make every decision, we have to okay everything, and we become bottlenecks in our organization. And for most of my life as a leader, I want to say that I've been a horrible leader. And I've been a bottleneck and I haven't run a real business. And through different aspects in life, you know, the economy turning bad and different things like that, I got schooled really, really hard. And looking back, reflecting on it, I realized that I needed to be a better leader. And part of being a better leader is understanding that when you have good people, when you have smart people, loyal, hardworking people, that they're going to work so much better for you if you just get out of their way and let them be the best version of themselves they can be. And I think that's a hard lesson for a lot of us as entrepreneurs, but getting out of the way is the best thing I ever did, because I just have people that are so much better at so many different things than I am in my business. And that's totally the reason for our success.
Yeah. I mean, imagine if, that's very insightful. And anyone who is up and running already, I'm sure that's really hitting you hard. I mean, imagine if, you know, your favorite football team, if the coach was running in there and grabbing the ball from the quarterback all the time and throwing it. It's like, all right, man, like, are you going to let me do this or not? So it's very challenging. And something, Don, that someone said to me, one of my coaches, he's like, Ross, if someone can do it 80% as good as you, just get the hell out of the way.
Yeah.
Because, you know, just let them do it. So Thanks for that. What makes the Exactly How Financial Freedom podcast unique is every show comes with a detailed action plan. We're going to pull all the steps out of our guest's head and create a blueprint so you can implement exactly what we're talking about. In addition to the takeaways and the resources mentioned at exactlyhow.com, we have some great free gifts there. And by visiting that site, you can throw your name into the hat to win our $3,000 deal finding software that locates all of the best properties to rehab or to wholesale or to micro flip. So visit exactlyhow.com to get all the free goodies and throw your name into the hat. If you're watching this live, you could be one of the winners because in just a few short moments, we're going to announce the winner. So make sure to visit exactlyhow.com right now. In addition, in the description of the YouTube video, there are very important links, access to our most popular trainings, our apps, our funding. We even give away this amazing book right here, The Inside Guide to Funding Real Estate Investments. This is not a self-published book. I get paid a lot of money up front to write this book because we facilitate $5 billion a month in funding for real estate investors through our funding portal, which you can find right in the description of the YouTube video. So definitely check out the description of the video, subscribe, and visit exactlyhow.com. All right, Don, we're going to go ahead and jump right into it. For those of us who are brand new, when you talk about rehabbing and rehab systems, can you just kind of define and put a box around what you're talking about there?
Yeah, in fact, the way you said that's the perfect way to define a system, right? It's a box, right? It's a boundary. It's the context of which your team or a process is going to operate within, the if this then that type of scenarios. So, really, people look at systems and they overthink them. They think that it's going to be this complicated thing, but it's really like, if an invoice comes in on this day, this is the day that we're going to cut a check. And every time the invoices have to be in by a certain date. And every time they come in, we're going to cut a check on a certain date and we're going to hand them out on a certain date. That's a system, how lead flows through your organization, tracking your marketing, tracking KPIs, how you go about doing those things is a system. And when you document that and it becomes something that is duplicatable in your business, then that's really where it becomes a system in your organization.
Yeah, you can't automate a mess.
Exactly.
If you don't have any systems, there are parts of Connected Investors that I can hire people at will, right? Bam, 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 because we have systems. They come in, they go through training, they have the script. And then there's other parts of the company that are just, we're all just figuring it out every day. And
right.
I'm sure a lot of people have been in that boat before. So this is a really exciting topic because rehabbing is where the big money is. Wouldn't you say, Don?
There's definitely good money in rehabbing when it's done right. I will say that for sure. So
yeah.
Absolutely. I agree 100%.
If done right, you can make a lot more rehabbing than you can wholesaling or micro flipping, co-wholesaling, whatever you call it, selling the contract. Rehabbing is where some of the big life-changing paydays can be if you do it correctly. So before the show, Don and I talked and we broke this down into 3 main steps: hiring, pricing, and project management. Don, let's talk about hiring. So I guess we're talking about we have a property that we've already purchased, right? And we're planning on rehabbing it, right? We used the funding, privatelenders.com or whatever to get funding. Now it's time to do the rehab. Let's talk about the hiring process. And I'm really going to be taking notes here because my favorite contractor is my next contractor, right?
Okay.
So help me out here, man.
Well, I will say this, that we have had contractors that have worked with us for a number of years. We hired a guy in 2012 on a project and he has worked with us on various projects since 2012, over 7 years now. So the first thing we do when we look for contractors or any outside trade is we're really looking for the same types of individuals that we would consider hiring inside our organization. So we're looking for somebody that's teachable and coachable. We're looking for somebody that is willing to work within our systems and processes. And we're looking for just generally good people, right? So loyal, hardworking, solid individuals. So we're not just looking to plug and play individuals. We're looking for the right individuals to work with. And some of that process is going to be probably something you haven't heard before. And some of it's probably something you do all the time. So finding contractors, we or any other trade, basically, we do a lot of the same things most people do. We're on Craigslist, we're on Angie's List, we're driving for contractors. If I'm driving through a neighborhood and I see work being done, we're stopping and getting a business card. If we're in a store parking lot and there is a truck there with a phone number on it, we're snapping a picture, we're making a phone call. So we're really doing a lot of the same things I think a lot of people do aggressively to find these individuals. But our process after that is really what differentiates our success. And so, the first thing we do in hiring is we make a phone call. This is who we are, and this is what we're doing. We're flippers, we're rehabbers, and we're looking for contractors to work with on these projects. And 50%, 40% of those individuals will disqualify themselves right away. They'll tell us, hey, we've worked with flippers before, they suck, they don't pay, whatever. And they don't want to have a conversation. They're too busy, they're too good. The other half is willing to continue to talk. In that second part of the conversation, we say we're looking for wholesale pricing. We know that you need to make money, but we also need a deal. So we need that price point that's going to make sense for both of us. We're both not really, really happy, but we're both being taken care of. About half of them will disqualify themselves again, and the other half will continue to talk. Yes, we're willing to work with you. Okay. So we're openly communicating through the process. We're not trying to hide anything. We're not asking them to go bid a job. We're making sure that our goals are aligned in the process first. Once we get to the point where they're saying, yes, we're willing to talk to you about pricing, we're willing to work with you, then we want to see two jobs. We want to see one that is finished and one that's in process. Mm-hmm. And the reason why we want to do that, the job in process, we want to see because we want to see, okay, do things line up on that job with what you're telling me? If you're telling me that you're supposed to be done in 3 days, does it look like you're going to be done in 3 days? If you're halfway through the job and we go and there's one worker or no worker there, that's a problem. If there's safety issues, if there's trash, if there's hazards, if the job isn't kept in a manner that makes sense, we're going to be able to see those things. And so we're going to be able to decide right then and there if you're somebody that's going to run your business in a manner that's going to be successful for us.
That's really important. It's like when you're screening a tenant and they're like, oh yeah, I'm clean, my dog is great. And you stop by their house and their house is a wreck and you can see where their dog is scratched apart the whole door. And it's just, a whole screening process for your contractors. That's phenomenal.
It's important. Yeah. And a lot of people skip that step. They want to see the finished product and how good it is, but they don't want to see the work in progress. Tells you more about the person and how they run their business. So the finished product, I want to see for one reason. It's not because I want to find the good things they do. I want to see the one thing that isn't perfect, and I'm going to pick on that. And the reason why I'm going to do that is because I want to see how they respond. As an individual, are they going to blame somebody else? Are they going to try to, use a scapegoat or skirt the issue? Or are they going to take responsibility? If they do anything but take responsibility, they're not getting hired.
I love it. Yeah. I love it. That's a golden nugget of information right there. I'm just gonna say what you said again. The most important thing is to see how they respond. Every contractor is going to mess something up, right? So it's really important to see how they respond. And actually, I'm sorry, if you're on YouTube, I just have to do this. Look what we just had at the Connected Investors office. What do you see here?
Thank you, dog. Yeah.
We let our people bring our puppies in. This little puppy was running around. So watch the YouTube channel. You get to see cute puppies. Oh my gosh, look at this dog. All right, so that was a great tip. Don, let's keep it going.
All right. So, once we have decided to go ahead and say, okay, you're somebody we can work with, we only give them one job. A lot of people will, especially when you're a couple of projects deep, you'll want to hand a contractor more than one job. We're very specific on giving them one job because there's a lot of things to look for once you've hired a contractor. Are they going to do what they say they're going to do? Are they going to show up? Are they going to follow through? Are they going to finish on time? But you're also looking for things, and I'm not going to get too deep into the woods, but you're looking for things like, are they cash flowing jobs? Are they using your job to pay for the last job? And are they going to need another job from you to pay for your job? There's a lot of things that you can look for in that one job. If they get it to the finish line, they do a great job, they're easy to work with, you're communicating with them and it's good, then move on to job number two. As an organization, we usually don't give them more than one job till after job number two. So that's really, in a nutshell, our process for hiring. Once we get them to the end of the second job, if they still seem teachable and coachable, they still seem like they're easy to work with, and there's somebody that's going to be able to grow within our organization, then we'll continue to work with them at that point.
That's really that's really important, everyone. You don't want people drinking from a fire hose. Right. You got 5 jobs going on. You're giving them 5 jobs. You're setting them up for success.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
Make it easy for them to win. And when you're hiring these people for the jobs, I know we're going to talk about pricing in a second. But what do you do about just setting expectations? Because to me, the most friction comes from bad communication.
Absolutely.
When they think you wanted something else, and then they did it, and you're like, "That's not what I wanted." Now, I got to rip apart the whole kitchen. I mean, how do you deal with that?
Well, and that's huge because we were talking about, like, we want to make sure we find good contractors. Well, contractors are going to want to make sure they find good people to work for. You know, I mean, that they've worked for individuals that haven't paid them or haven't known what they wanted and that kind of thing too. So you need to make sure that you know and you are communicating. One of the things that we do, we make sure of, is in the bidding process, we have line item bids. We require line item bids. If they come in and they say 30 grand, the materials and labor included for the whole job, that doesn't fly with us. If they come in and they say, you know, 2 grand for this bedroom and 1 grand for that bedroom and 3 grand for the bathroom, that doesn't fly. Like, I want to know, you know, it's 10 light fixtures at $40 a piece. It's 2 toilets at X. It's, you know, I want X amount of square feet of paint at X dollars a square foot. I want line items, because then you can see. And that's the other thing too, because I'm one of those people that have been burned a few times. So if a contractor comes to me and he says, you know, I counted 10 lights, but there's really 12. If I can't go to the bid and see that he only counted 10, then I'm going to question it. It's not going to sit well with me. So it's part of keeping a good relationship intact and in place, that you have that clarity. And a lot of people, these are the steps a lot of people want to skip, because it takes time. It takes work. You know, the contractor doesn't want to put it together. You don't want to look at it. You skip it. You get halfway through the job and suddenly, and I'm sure anybody who's rehabbed ran into this, you get this, well, that wasn't in the bid. Well, that wasn't in the bid. Well, that wasn't in the bid. And you have no way to go back and look to see if it was or wasn't. So steps like that are very important to make sure. If you're talking about a scope of work and you're talking about a certain product or certain product colors, it's a good idea. Like, we put together a sheet from Home Depot where it had first choice, second choice, third choice, and you can actually click on the link and it would take you to the product. Whether it was tile or paint or a light fixture. And that has made us extremely successful in communication. So those things combined really help you.
No, it stops all the surprises.
Right.
Because the second that there's a surprise, that's when the relationship gets tested and someone has to back down.
Right.
Either they have to back down and they feel short-sighted, or, you know, you have to back down and you just lost some profit there. So it's really important to kind of get that all in place. So let's go ahead and talk about pricing.
Okay. So pricing is one of those things that I think a lot of people that are new get hung up on. And it does take work to understand the pricing. You know, I spent my share of hours in Home Depot looking at the cost of different things. I've watched jobs to see how long things took to really get a grasp of it. It does take time, but as you're doing that, as you're getting there, some important things to do to work with your contractors is standardized pricing, which is something that we have done in our organization. We've gotten to the point where, you know, this certain light fixture, you know, installed is X amount of dollars, period, say $40 for that light fixture every single time, every single house. And we've been able to negotiate that by working with the contractor and sitting down and understanding what their costs are, you know, where their profit margins are, where we need to be. And we just kind of line those things out. So that's kind of a later down the road thing, a goal thing, but definitely something we're going to work towards. Overall though, you just want to make sure you're communicating about wholesale pricing. That's really, really important. And then understanding what that means in your market. One of the worst things you can do with pricing is to take the cheapest price. Mm-hmm. You don't want to take the cheapest price, because usually what you're going to end up is paying a lot more in the long run by either having to hire somebody else, or, you know, you're going to get change ordered to death. I mean, those are some of the things you're going to run into, you know. So yeah, I don't know if you have any specific questions about anything I just said, but that's kind of, you know, some of the things in a nutshell. No,
there was a lot of nuggets of information there. And it's, again, you go to exactlyhow.com, you can review the show notes, so you can reread this, and we pull all the highlights out of this information here. But it goes to show just how, you know, what do they say? Ounce of prevention is worth a pound of
right
fixing.
I don't know the term, but I know it's a good quote.
Yeah, just really making sure you dot all your T's and cross your I's up front, because then you're just handing the contractor a blueprint, and ultimately it's your fault at the end of the day if you're not getting these things done right. And getting jobs done on time, on schedule is very, very important. This is why a lot of new people, they just start wholesaling or micro flipping, because they don't want to deal with all of this, right?
Right.
If you're brand new, you have no contractor experience, you know, that's why so many people get into wholesaling. They'll use our PIN software to find deals, and they sell them to flippers that have all these systems in place. But if you want to really make the big bucks, where you can have a $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 plus payday, then making this machine is important. And it's not hard. It's just, you got to do it. So outside of pricing, as far as like materials, like you're using the same materials a lot, so you're able to price things out very well. Anything else
I mean,
we've done on pricing before we move to project management?
we standardized a lot of what we do pricing wise, linear foot of baseboard. I think we're like $1 a foot installed. We have certain light fixtures, like I mentioned, that are $40 a foot installed. I think our doors are like 125 a foot or 125 a door installed for pre-hung doors, different things like that we've standardized a lot of in our market. And I think once you know your market, it becomes real easy to do that. It's really important to understand, like I said, kind of where the numbers are, and that does take time. I don't want to scare anybody who's brand new to not take action, because you have to take action in order to learn. You have to make mistakes in order to learn. But once you understand where their profit margins are and where a good price point for you to be is, you can really create a good relationship with people. And if you take care of them, they're going to take care of you. You properly communicate. Bad communication really destroys relationships, good relationships. And then, being in a situation where you feel like they're taking advantage of you, where they feel like you're taking advantage of them. So just really, I think, overly communicating, overly documenting, understanding, learning as quickly as you can, you will really get you to a good place, and being able to get good pricing and good efficiencies out of your contractors.
Yeah, and really what I'm hearing here, Don, is confidence, right?
Confidence.
Like,
Yeah, absolutely.
you're giving not only your contractors confidence, but your partners, your lenders, investors. If you're able to talk to investors and be like, yeah, our rehab is systematized.
Right.
I've been working with the same guy for 2 or 3 years. It takes out a lot of the unknowns, and it allows you to really grow and scale your business. So I just want to, before we move into the next section of this, which is project management, very important, I want to go ahead and announce the winner of our software. Now, this person, they went to exactlyhow.com. They threw their name into the hat. They engage with our videos. They give us thumbs up and all of that. And now they're winning a $3,000 software that points them to the best properties to fix and flip. These are not on-market properties. These are pre-MLS properties. Winner of today's giveaway is...
Looking for a private money partner to fund your flips or rentals? Go direct to the source. Privatelenders.com. A free marketplace that instantly matches you with up to 5 private money lenders to save thousands by having non-bank lenders compete to be your funding partner. Privatelenders.com.
And the winner of today's giveaway is Nick Hahn. Nick, congratulations. We'll get you all set up with the software, and you can take this training that Don's been teaching you here and start using it right now. So if you didn't win, don't worry. Visit exactlyhow.com. Your name might get called in the next show, and we'll reach out to you. Remember, in the description of the YouTube video here, we're giving away my book right here on funding real estate investments. And you don't have to pay $25 for it. You can get it for free because you're here right now. So congratulations, Nick, and everyone who gets their free book. Let me go ahead and talk about project management. Great. You got you found the deal using our PIN software.
Right.
You got funded through privatelenders.com because you knew what you were doing right here. Now you found your person, it's pricing. Now they're up and running. Let's talk about project management.
Okay. So project management, I think it's kind of an overlap with pricing, is materials. Materials is a big thing on whether or not you buy materials or you don't buy materials. We don't. And one of the reasons we don't is because we do the standardized pricing. We have the contractors buy all the materials for that reason, and also because we don't want to have to keep an accounting of the materials on the job. When one of the things that can happen with materials is if you're buying materials, they can disappear from the job. They can use more than you anticipated they needed to use. Like, for some reason, it cost me 3 times more to paint a house when I buy the materials. So it's important to make a decision where your lane's going to be there. Do you provide the materials and they just pay for the labor, or do you have them do both? We prefer to do both because I feel like it keeps honest people honest. So that part of project management and pricing, like I said, it overlaps, is important to us as an organization, because now my team can focus on making sure the job is running the way it's supposed to, making sure the quality is the way it's supposed to, and not chasing down materials, not running to Home Depot, not doing crazy things. So everything in our organization, even the project management side, is about efficiency. How can we make things easier on our team? So with that said, there are some things you can't. Did you want to chime in there real quick? Or?
No. I'm
Okay.
excited just to ask you on how you're managing this. If you're using, Excel, any sort of software, or, what you might use to manage these projects.
I'm going to tell you, it's exciting. We use Excel and whiteboards.
That's how most businesses are run. Even a lot of banks, believe it or not, and big lenders, they run their whole business on Excel.
Yeah, we do Excel and whiteboards. You know, there are a lot of project management software programs out there, but most of them are designed for builders. And I've noticed when we try to implement our organization that we spend more time planning the project than, you know, actually like working on things that are going to be efficient for the project. So whiteboard has been very successful for us. We map everything out. It's a good visual. We track everything in Excel. We use Slack. Slack is a communication tool we use for all of things from transaction coordination to some of the project management. We open a property up and we get it in contract. It goes in the Slack all the way through the purchase, the project management, the resale, and all the communications there. We're not allowed to email each other, text each other, or anything. It has to be in Slack under that project channel. So, and that's been a huge game changer for organizations. I will, as a software platform, Slack is part of our project management, and it's a game changer. So, but other than that, I mean, I have 2 project managers. They go and they check the jobs on a regular basis to make sure people are showing up. You have to check people. You have to keep honest people honest. They make sure people are showing up. They make sure they're on time. They're always in communication with the contractors. We use general contractors that usually have their own crews of like 5 or 6 people. So we're just managing the managers. You know, we're not hurting cats. We're not hurting subs. We're just managing the managers. We prefer to hire contractors that don't have subs. We prefer to hire contractors that have their own teams. We found more efficiency there, cheaper pricing.
Huge tip there, guys. Yeah. I know he just said that quick, but there's a lot of efficiency and reliability that happens with that. So 100%. I just wanted to point that out. You want your contractors to have people that work for them. They're not subbing things out.
Exactly. And the you'll get, you know, sub pricing that way out of contractors versus them having to pay a sub and then mark it up too. So it goes a long way. So our project managers are managing the managers, and they're in communication with the contractors and stuff like that through the projects. When we start a project, we ask for dates, you know, completion dates. We coordinate and setting with them, and then what dates we can schedule other vendors to come in and do certain things. And we just stay in constant communication as to whether or not those dates are changing, and that holds a lot of accountability. So I will say that it's the way we pay, though, that really affects project management for us. And we have a weekly pay system. We don't do deposits and we don't do draws. First and foremost, people need to know in their states what the laws are. A lot of contractors will ask for 25 or 50% down. States like California, it's 10% or $1,000, whichever is least. So if you're doing a $50,000 job, the contractor can't ask you for more than $1,000 deposit. They'll ask you for it, but by legally, they're not supposed to get it. So we don't do deposits. We don't do draw schedules because we feel like we run into too many situations where we do like a $10,000 deposit. In 2 or 3 weeks, you have a $10,000 draw. We get to that draw, the work isn't done, and they want the draw because it's supposed to be there, and they start threatening that they're not going to show up if they don't get the money because they can't pay their guys. It's a nightmare. So we do the weekly.
Another huge tip, everyone. I mean, when you're paying them weekly, they're coming back to you a little at a time. You have them on the, that's huge. I'm just thinking through all the mistakes I made, and I always would pay them up front a little bit. And then the scenario that Don just laid out, I got to pay my guys. And, you're not there yet. Well, I got to pay my guys. It's that weekly thing is huge. Great.
And
Thank you so much.
The way we do it, the way we do it is really the way it makes it work for us. So you have to pre-invoice us. You have to tell us by this Friday. So today's Friday. You have to tell us today what you're going to finish next week.
So
you make telling me what you're going to do. Yes.
You're making them actually think and take accountability.
Yeah. Plan a job. So you're setting a goal, right? You're telling us what you're going to finish for the next week. They send the invoices on Friday. My team comes in on Monday. I have the gal in the office. She cuts all the checks. She does all the reporting. We know what our cash liabilities are for the week. We send the reporting to our lenders because we work with a lot of private lenders. We get our draws in for the rehab by Wednesday or Thursday, and then we give the contractor their check if they finish the work by Friday. So that manages timeline in the project by them setting the goal. We know what our cash liabilities are early on in the week. We have the funds in our account before we give them out, so that manages cash flow. That one system manages so many things in our organization, and it helps us move these things along very, very smoothly and efficiently.
A lot of people don't get into real estate because they don't know wholesaling or micro flipping even exists.
Right.
If you've never seen micro flipping, just Google micro flipping. You'll learn about it. But then they think, if I'm going to rehab properties, I don't want to deal with this, that, and whatever. But Don, what you've just kind of laid out has really helped alleviate a lot of the anxieties that I have about doing rehab projects. And I mean, at the end of the day, turnover sucks.
Oh, it does.
It doesn't matter where you are. Like, I
Yeah.
hate when people leave Connected Invest. We have very, very low turnover here because I invest so much time, energy, and effort. So, you know, in your flip business as well.
Absolutely. 100%. That, I mean, it's looking at, like I said, the exterior components to your operation and treating them and training them and working with them the same way you would with the internal components of your operation.
So now when things get tough, Don, do you ever use any of your own bouncer techniques, man?
You know, things don't really get tough. Yeah. I mean, I wish. No, you know, a lot of people will scream and yell. And I've had times where I've been frustrated by a contractor. But the cool thing about this business is once you finish the job, you never have to call them again. So there's no reason to waste the energy. In this business, you got to know when to drop the hammer and when not to, right? And when you have to drop the hammer, you got to have the guts to do it. And there's a lot of situations where it's like, all right, let's just get it to the finish line and be done and move on. And
Yeah.
that's the way we try to handle most of it. Since we've implemented the system of weekly pay, we've only had to fire one contractor. And basically we paid him for the work he finished through Friday. We had a new contractor in on Monday. And I think we were $1,500 over budget. I mean, it was really clean.
Perfect, man. Perfect. Well, let me ask you perhaps the most important question. And but actually, before I do, I just want to reiterate that below, if you're watching this on YouTube, everyone, you know, just go to YouTube and type in Connected Investors Exactly How. You'll be able to find the channel, subscribe so you can join the army of people that are learning this type of information. And you'll get that little ding every Tuesday and Thursday. And you'll have a new episode like this fresh in your pocket. And if you comment below, it actually goes right to my cell phone. Right? It's hooked up directly to my phone. I love engaging with the people that are engaging with us. That's why we're here. So if you have any questions, comment below. I will see what you put there. But the question I want to really ask you, Don, is what do you think your life would be like if you decided to stay a bartender and never got into real estate?
Oh man, it wouldn't be as good as it is now. You know, I'm an entrepreneur. I think you are the same way. You're an entrepreneur, right? I mean, that's the nature of who a lot of us are. I hate to say it out loud on a podcast because people, when they think of being an entrepreneur, they think about sitting on the beach at some point and doing nothing. The idea of doing nothing makes me insane. Like, I want to always be building something great, right? So, so for me, it's just the excitement of being able to tap into that and do that, you know, and to be having the opportunities to affect people, to do the podcast and change lives, to share my story, to do the things that I love to do and to still have time to do what I want to do with my family. I think that's the good part about it.
Yeah, no, that's great. So you wouldn't have those same freedoms if you never got into real estate. Right. And, you know, if you're watching on YouTube, you see my people are skateboarding around the office. We got all sorts of, you know, we have a lot of fun. We're entrepreneurs, we're real estate investors. And what you said is retiring would drive you crazy.
Right.
I don't think people want to do nothing. I think ultimately they want the option to do nothing.
The freedom, the choice, right?
Exactly.
As long as you know you have the choice, that's what matters. That's where the passion comes in.
Because once you learn how to invest in real estate, you never stop.
Right.
You'll see a deal and you'll be like, and you'll put it together. You know, 1 + 1 equals a lot of money in real estate. So there is no finish line. The gift is the journey. The gift is today. So
right.
Yeah, thanks for sharing that. Really insightful. Here's a new question I just started asking. Actually, I put this in here, and you're the first person I'm asking this. What is the biggest bottleneck in your business?
Now, well, it used to be me. Now, that's a fantastic question. You know, we're a marketing and sales company. You know, you hear that a lot when it comes to real estate investing. We're not flippers. We're not wholesalers. We're a marketing and sales company. And I think right now, I think it's just always looking for the next new, better system process for marketing and sales to add more consistency, to add more deals, to add more profitability to the organization, to make sure that our people are always educated and that they're always striving to be the best versions of themselves. I think that's not really a bottleneck. I think that's just part of the human journey, right? And the journey of this type of business. But that's, I think, where our biggest focus will always be. You know, as far as growth goes. Yeah,
no, I appreciate you getting real with us there for a moment. And by the way, that is a fantastic question to ask anyone. Right. When you're out there networking and you meet someone who's way more successful than you, or someone who's whatever it might be, just when they're talking about how good things are, be like, all right, so 2020 is coming up. What do you think the biggest bottlenecks are going to be? And they'll just be like, oh, it's just so cool to listen to really smart people think through that question, because as a real estate investor, you're a problem solver. As an entrepreneur, you're a problem solver. You're constantly trying to think, what's the next bottleneck? How do I make it faster, easier, better? So yeah, thanks for sharing. All right, now some fun questions. You ready for the rapid fire section?
I'm ready.
All right. On a scale of 1 to 10, how strict were your parents?
Probably 5.
Get up early or stay up late?
Stay up late.
How many hours of sleep do you get?
4 to 6.
Wow. Favorite or last book read?
My favorite book of all time is How to Win Friends and Influence People, because that's the one that put me on my entrepreneurial journey.
If you could be any superhero, who would it be?
Oh man, I don't know if I've ever thought that one through. So the easy answer is Superman, right? Because you could do just about anything.
Yeah. What is something everyone should do less of?
Worry.
What is something everyone should do more of?
Celebrate.
Bitcoin, bang or bust?
Jury's still out.
Will people visit Mars in your lifetime?
Oh God, I hope so. But it may probably my children's lifetime, to be honest with you.
All right. Thank you very much for that. Actually, we talked about Mars. I just found out that the moon is hollow.
Really?
Isn't that kind of crazy?
Huh.
Yeah. There's this, don't watch this show. It's called Ancient Aliens. It will drive you insane. Anyway, I fell asleep to an episode last night and they talked about how the moon was hollow. And when Apollo landed on it, it echoed. So who knows?
So there's no proof to that then. Okay, fair enough.
Anyway, now there's some scientific proof, but we haven't tapped into it as well. But anyway, you learn all sorts of stuff here at Exactly How. So Don, thank you so very much for spending your time with us.
No problem, man. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me on.
And for everyone who is still with us here, congratulations. You made it to the end of the show. You finished what you started. That is a very rare trait in today's hyper distracted world. This means you got a lot of value out of the information that Don and I were bringing you. So make sure to give a thumbs up, subscribe, share, tag someone you know that needs to see this information. And make sure if you're on YouTube, at least give us a little comment. Let us know if there's anything else that you wanna learn. We have some fantastic experts that are lined up to come on the line to bring you more information like this. And we have a huge library at exactlyhow.com. And there's gifts with most of the shows. So you can just scroll through exactlyhow.com, scoop up great gifts, calculators, softwares, free books, all the stuff people charge a lot for, our guests give away for free. It's all at exactlyhow.com. So until the next episode, I'll see you then.
The Connected Investors app connects you with investors, notifies you of available properties, helps locate cash buyers, and secure private funding to close deals. Set up in seconds to become a member of the Connected Investors social network. Now you can scroll through your main feed to find cash buyers, see investment properties not available to the general public, and network with investors by adding your own comments to a thread to keep the conversation going. The Control Center is your connection to add properties to sell, start new discussions, connect with local investors, and even find private funding. The Notifications tab will keep you alerted to new investment properties and offers. You'll also find new friend requests to connect directly with the community to build your network. From the property marketplace, you'll be able to find, favorite, and make offers on investment properties. Download Connected Investors today to find, figure, fund, and flip investment properties on the go.